Yeah, sheep. Hi guys, welcome back to the Roguelite Andy channel and another episode of Dick Around in the Garage, sponsored by the Blue Bike and right here, the Blue Bike and Oil. Thanks for the lighting. Again, Snap-on for my under the hood light, which he was kind enough to charge me way too much money for, and somehow or another make me feel good about it. So, if you guys watched last week's video, we put the hitch on the bike. Now, no. If you watched last week's video, we got into wiring on the trailer because we were trying to decide what wiring harness we need to purchase to put on the bike. We went with the 5-pin because the trailer originally came with actually a 6-pin, but we're going to make it a 5-pin. So I had to order the 5-pin harness. Open Road Outfitters, Dale, he has all kind of videos. You get an isolator, you get a Harley CAN bus. Now, some people may be asking, well, what do you need all that stuff for? Well, this isolates your trailer. Exactly what it says, isolator. It isolates your trailer, and it in essence creates its own circuit and CAN bus system. It's protection for the bike. But some assembly is required. Now, before I get into this and assembling it, I do want to say that I understand what they're doing here. They're making universal for several different bikes. However, there are some things that quality for the price point that you pay could be better on, such as these connectors right here. What they could do is they could pin these connectors and then give you the box, the plastic box that the connectors would go into, the pins would go into, and you could slide them together that way and have a nice neat plug instead of this. Now, because I have seen and experienced all kinds of electrical nightmares, what I will be doing is eliminating these connectors here, and I will be using soldering splices. I'm not going to solder them, it's just quicker to use the heat shrink style solders. They work a little better. Now, if you pay attention to your isolator harness, this is what will operate your lights. Okay? And you have two whites on here. Notice how one of the white wires is longer. That's your ground to your battery. This is the ground that you will hook up to your plug there that your trailer will plug into. And you'll have to wire all that stuff up accordingly. Okay? And they could have simplified this more, but I understand what they're doing. I do. But it could have been more simple. The instructions are pretty simple. They give you a sheet of instructions with every piece, whereas for me, I only need this one, and it tells me number 1 pin not used, number 2, and that's for these. They're labeled, which another thing they could have done, instead of using all black wires, they could have color coded them to match your other stuff, which I think it's this, it's this one. It goes on to here, which plugs into something. Plugs into this somehow or another, and then another one plugs in. But we'll figure it out. That's your instructions. That's what you need. So I will be, this is the isolator. Oh, then you have a ground on my bike. The isolator, and then this is your CAN bus module. You have a ground. They need to go together. However, we will be cutting this style of connector off and replacing it because that is not weather sealed. Moisture will get in there. That's no good. So we can start with that first, I guess. I'll show you guys that one, and we'll try to show you that stuff. This could be a lengthy video. These are heat shrink solder connectors. You can buy this whole kit off of lovely Amazon for the whopping price of $11. Solder inside there, and it heat shrinks around. So for this one, we're probably going to use pink, more than likely. I'll show you guys how these work. So I know my isolator needs to be grounded in my CAN bus. We're going to cut that. We're going to cut that, go over that. Take our speed strippers. Be generous. Strip your back some. Let's see. I should have slid that on there first. Yep. And that might be a little tight. No. Alright, we're going to have to use blue because when I put two wires together, it's not going to fit, which is not a big deal. I'll slide this through. What are you guys doing? Here, come down here. Look. And we will twist the wires together. When using these, you're going to fold. Oh, shoot. Let me get a better twist on them. I want to twist that down, like so, and then place your solder in the center, right over top of that, right? So if we can slide that tag down, right there. I'm gonna get the torch and show you guys the magic. I'm just using Power Probe's little butane torch. Let it get good and hot, and then you'll disperse the heat evenly. You don't want to melt the outside coating. You want to be careful, but you'll see that solder melt in there. Yep, see? See how it's starting to melt? Yeah. Melting. It'll disperse. I keep running out of film. I don't know. We'll set that over there. We'll need that later. Alright. Now what we'll have to do. I know. It's exciting. We got that one done. Nice and soldered. Heat shrunk. Totally weatherproof. That's just a ground. I'm going to check see if I have enough pieces of heat shrink tubing to go over top of these to add an extra layer of protection. We're going to set this off to the side for right now. Looks like I have enough, but this is kind of big for that. Yeah, we'll probably just let it ride without them. Okay, so if you look, these are labeled with little number tags. I am going to leave the number tags on. This is the connector that will go to them. These are not numbered. They go off a color code. So since they go off color code, guess what we're going to do? We're going to cut the ends off. If you want to, you can just plug them in according to your color code, the numbers. I am trying to foolproof it so we don't end up with issues on the road. Cut those. Pop those off. And strip it back. So that's that part, right? So we use number 2. Number 2 is yellow. We're going to leave the numbers on there just in the event that we have any future problems, right? So there's number 2. Let me get these to where they will sit open, so I don't have to keep opening them. I'll slide this down there. Number 2, right? Yep, number 2. Now, since we ran out of film while we were soldering the last one, I'll show you guys again how these connectors work. And fold it away and take it up and around. Try to get you guys some more light on the situation here. Sorry, wait a minute. Biscuit. So there's your wire twisted in there, all twisted together. Right? Yep, right about there. Torch is lit. Let it get hot. Good and hot. There it went. There it went. It's getting hot. You don't have to worry so much about the other side. I heat up and shrink it down, but the solder, I mean, you're not getting it on any bare wiring. Now we'll shrink the ends down. Now you've got a nice puddle of solder in there. Straighten it out while it's a little warm. Now I've got 3 more of these to do. The battery's getting low. I showed you guys how to do that. You don't need to see me do the rest. I will bring you back in once we have all this soldered together and we're ready to do the plug and play stuff. Here you go. This is your sub harness. That's what they refer to it as. This will plug into your bike. The little black plug right there on top of the battery box, which I'm going to, you guys will have to watch next week's video when I do the install on it. I'm going to see if it will work under the behind the back seat. But now we have to connect all this together. So how do we do that? Your sub harness has this white connector here, and then this is your CAN bus module, and you cannot screw it up too bad because the plugs are different. So your sub harness, male, female, goes to your CAN bus module, like so. Then your CAN bus module, where's it at? Where's it at? Your CAN bus module will go, come on, go Fairwire, to your isolator. And everything's labeled. And again, male to female. Get it? Male to female? Male to female. And it goes in and looks like that. I'm going to do something though that I forgot. Time out. Time back in. Let's see if I can get this unhooked again. Alright, yeah. I'm going to dip my finger in a little bit of dielectric grease. And I'm going to put some dielectric grease on them pins. Like that. And that's the other thing. again, for the money you pay for this stuff, and I understand these modules aren't cheap. For the money you pay, they ought to give you some better connectors. These are not weatherproof. I don't care what they say. They say they are, but they're not. They are not. They could have used weather pack connectors, which later on down the road, if I have any problems with it, and these end up corroding up, I'll do weather packs. That's the other thing. Like, you have to splice all that together. They could just put that on there. Like I said, just a pin kit, have it where you can pin the plug out and eliminate that splice, because that's going to be a problem. But now you're all plugged in, right? And we need a shop rag, which, guess what? Shop rags are sponsored by the Blue Bike and Oil. He got me some shop rags from Hobba Freight a while back, and they're holding up great. They do give you a business card in the packaging. It tells you who assembled your harness. They also give you some ring connectors. I'm not using those ones. I have some better quality ones. Just my preference. We're going to have to sort through all the wiring. Now you have all this wiring, but remember, you have a long white and a long red. What we're going to do there is come up here and grab some good ring terminals. Oh, how about that? There's a hole in the bottom of the bag. Huh. I'll have to get a new bag. I'll show you guys. Maybe live. Hold on. We'll be back. Let me get to it. We gotta hurry up. We're almost out of film again. Connector. These are barrel crimpers. The jaws are for the insulated connectors, not the cheap ones. These are the insulated and the heat shrink. Now, what a lot of people will do, I'll show you on, let's just use a piece of weed eater string. Put that up in there. There you go. Oh, yeah. If you look, this jaw here is for the uninsulated. Then you have another jaw for insulated blue and insulated pink. But when you get up around the pink, you gotta be careful, because those are cutters. They'll cut your wire. Now, what a lot of people do is, put it in the big jaw right there like that, and they'll take that, they'll crimp it down like that. Now, look closely at what you have done when you do that. Education. What you have now done is created a bare metal spot for a short that can rub up against something that is now no longer an insulated connector. Show you the proper way to use this style of connector or crimper. Stick it in there. You're on the blue. Crimp it down like that. And the string wasn't in there. But you're pretty much done. It didn't damage the coating. But sometimes people squeeze a little too hard on it. Smash it down. And get a little smidge of it. Now I'm done wasting connectors for video purpose. I just wanted to show you guys that and mistakes that people make, the quality of craftsmanship that people do. Let's make sure we got the right white wire. Yes, we got the right white wire. Now, what I like to do, I like to make sure that my coating goes up in there just a little bit. I need to trim this just a smidge. Stick it up in there. And you see the blue dot right there? That's for the blue insulated terminal connectors. Come on. Lay it in there like that. Crimp. Crimps all the way around. And that is not going anywhere. We'll do this one the same way. See, when you get it, I know you can't see really well because it's an insulated connector, but a lot of people leave. I don't know if you guys can see if you look. Right about there. I'm gonna take a light, put a light on it for you. You have bare wire. That's not good. You should have coating in coating to seal it properly. Boom. Like so. Put that on there. Like my hands will stay steady and work. Now what that does is that crimps evenly around. And again, that ain't going nowhere. Now that you have your eyes on, I like to use the spoon start from here and just work your way around it. I'll be dipped. We forgot something, guys. Something very important. You have a fusible link. I don't know how I forgot it, but I did. That's kind of important. But here, they give you some not so good quality connectors. But I need to solder this and then crimp this on, and then we'll wrap the video up. We got the fusible link soldered or wired in, soldered connectors. Put a piece of heat shrink tubing around it, just because that's coming directly off the battery. I do not use electrical tape on this stuff. Electrical tape is fine for in the house, not fine for out here. But that's how you wire up, or that's how you assemble your trailer light wiring harness to prep it to go on the bike. We will show you the video putting it on the bike. We're going to get some wire loom all this stuff up real nice and neat like. But tune in next week for another episode of Dick Around in the Garage. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and, your opinions matter. So, bye.